I was in a domestic violence situation for over 10 years, and finally I've been free for almost a year now. We had so many plans when my first son was born. We were going to get married, buy a house, I was going to finish college, and we were going to have the life that I always dreamed about. The first few years of our relationship were great, and then it just started to go downhill. Once my abuser started drinking, things got progressively worse. One night, after he had been drinking for a few days straight without sleep, I knew what was going to happen. So I took my children and stayed with my dad for a few days. I knew he would either run out of money or pass out, and it would be safe to come home. I was wrong. When I came home, it was pure hell. He hit me. I had 2 black eyes. My face was bleeding. But the worst part of all, he had thrown my mother's ashes down the toilet. That moment was the worst I've ever felt. My mother and I were very close, and when she died, I lost everything. Over the years, the abuse continued, but on March 5th, 2014, that was the end of that horrible life and the beginning of my new life. That day, he threw me down 2 flights of stairs, breaking my finger. When I got up to go to my crying baby, he threw me down again. The police and medics were called. My abuser was arrested on scene as my older children came home from school. My children and I moved into the battered women's shelter. While in there, Family Service of Lucas County spoke to us about the effects of domestic violence on children. After speaking to staff, a referral was made for me to begin support group with Project Genesis, and for my children to begin services with Breaking the Cycle at the Family Service. Through these programs, I learned how violence affected my children, mentally and physically, and my children learned how to cope with their feelings. My children and I have since completed the programs at Family Service of Lucas County. I cannot thank the hard workers enough at FSNO. I've seen my children have grown so much in this past year, and I see a light at the end of the tunnel, finally, after so long in hell. Now that we have our own place to live, I have a full-time job. Child care is set up, and we've been doing excellent. Like I said, I can see the light, but instead of staying at the end of the tunnel, I just see the sun. Thank you, Family Service, for helping me survive domestic violence.